What's up guys, Karma here, bringing you another Black Ops 3 live commentary. Going to be playing a hardpoint, and today's topic of discussion is Optic or Cole. Will Optic ever reach Complexity's level in terms of wins, in terms of being like the best ever? And let me just mute this guy right quick. So I was reading Reddit, and Reddit was talking about this, and I was like, you know what, let me check this out. It was like, has Optic finally reached the perfect balance in like a team composition, etc.? And I had to go in, had to comment on it, and I decided I'd make a live commentary about this. You know, I was in the shower, had some thoughts that came to my head. I was like, you know what, I haven't made a live commentary in a while. Let me hop into a pub and let me talk about this. So the main point, was discussed is like, why doesn't everyone think that Optics can go into a tournament or into a match thinking that they're just going to 3-0 everyone? And they're like, why does Optic not go into matches thinking that? I'm like, the thing I don't understand is like, why would you think we're going to go into games not thinking we're going to 3-0 everyone? I think the big question is like, it's like if we go in and we win the second map, we're probably going to 3-0 everyone. I think that's like a pretty obvious thing. I think it's something you've probably heard us say before. And honestly, it's probably the truth. As long as we don't mess up in the hard point, which 99% of the time, I don't think we will lose the hard point. But, I mean, shit, there's always that odd chance that we will if I don't fall off the map. Thing is here, I would like to say, and this is what I commented on in the Reddit thread. I said, okay, so put it this way. Back in the day, people were like, well, Complexity didn't have much competition, etc. And then there was another post that was like, look at all the new players in Call of Duty now, and they're like, look at who Optics plays now, look who Complexity used to play, etc. And it's like, okay, you got a fair point. There's some new players, there's some new up-and-coming talent. But is that the main reason why, people are kind of doubting whether, we will be like that consistent powerhouse in Call of Duty this year? I still think it's a stupid argument, sorta. But at least for the points that they're trying to use. So my point is, and what I was thinking, and my main reason is, okay, look at this Call of Duty, right? Look at Ghosts, look at Black Ops 2, the titles that quote unquote Complexity was dominant at. There weren't many factors going into the game, right? It was like we would go into the game, and it's like, okay, we go into the game, and all you had to know was like what you're gonna do on the map. You just gotta outgun the people in front of you, and that's really all there is. Okay? This Call of Duty, fuck, I died. This Call of Duty, the biggest thing that I think causes inconsistencies is the fact that, well, okay, there's score streaks. Black Ops 2 had score streaks. Can't argue that one. Score streaks really aren't that effective. I mean, you could say the Cerberus is pretty good. You could say, like, a Wraith is pretty good. What are the chances that someone's going to get all those score streaks? You know, not very likely. Cerberus is probably the most common one. Everything else, I'd say, not really that common. You know, you're more likely to get a fucking Wraith at a pub than you would in a match. But that's common sense. So I think the biggest inconsistencies in this game that can cause inconsistencies or reasons that people are just completely disregarding, why Optic isn't as dominant, even though, I mean, we are 18-2 or 16-2 in the Call of Duty World League, which I would like to think is pretty dominant. Whether or not people think that, I'm not quite sure, but that's still pretty dominant. But specialists. So let's look at, the first land, Totino's, I don't know, the fucking pizza roll, whatever that pizza roll event was. I would argue, I mean, this is just from a player's point of view or my point of view, that we probably would have won that event if Slack didn't have an Annihilator pistol. You could argue against that, and, I couldn't really say anything because, I mean, shit. Anything could have happened, but we did pretty much all die in the last round to an Annihilator. And I think that just goes to like show that like you could be really good at this game, you could be consistent, but specialists are a huge thing and they're not always predictable. And I think that's one of the biggest things to take from this. Like, if overclock's in, yeah, sure, you can kind of predict. If overclock's not in, you still kind of could predict that somebody's gonna have a specialist, but still you might not. There's times where we've played S&D, and there was this one time, for example, where Crim, I don't know if any of you guys watched it. I don't know what it was or who it was against, or if it was a 5K or a league match. But there was a match where Crim on a Stronghold S&D had overdrive after the first round. Like the first round ended, and he had an overdrive. Now think about that. I don't know if overclock was in, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone get a specialist, at least recently, within one round of a game starting in S&D. I think that's pretty crazy. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen it very often, so I don't know if it's a common thing that happens or occurs in UMGs or something that you guys play. Like I said, I don't know. But specialists are one of the most unpredictable things, and they can, they could be game changing. You could use yours in a bad way, or the enemy team could use theirs in a good way, and that could be the difference in you winning and you losing. When we played H2K, we lost, I believe, at the LAN. I want to say we might have lost a hard point. I'm not quite sure if it was a hard point that we lost. I think we did, though. And one of the biggest things about the hard point that we lost is Lacefield's heat wave. He probably heat waved us, about maybe like 8 times in a hard point. That I want to say 8. It could have been even more. I don't know exactly for sure, like the statistic, and the match wasn't streamed because we were on a side station, so in terms of that, I can't really give you the exact numbers. But think about that. And the one thing that they did, which props to them, is they spammed EMPs. And at the time, I'd say everyone knew EMPs were good. But I don't think anybody had played anybody who had really spammed them a lot, and that was, I think, the base of their strategy. When nades are banned, when stuns are banned, all the tacticals are banned, the main thing to do is to spam EMPs, and I didn't have a hardwire class, so they pretty much took me out of the game, and I want to say like the first 3 maps, because I just didn't have a hardwire class, so I'd be like, alright guys, I'm going to EMP, or I'm going to go in and heat wave. Then I get EMP'd, and I'm like, can't heat wave, like, and it sucked because it was game changing. I'd go to heat wave, and then Lacefield would heat wave, and we'd be sitting ducks. We're all getting burned, and we're just sitting there like, well, Damon, you didn't heat wave. And I'm like, yeah, well, I got EMP'd. But that just, at least that shows that like there's like a meta in this game. The game's always changing. I'd say it's changed quite a bit already, which is in terms of how people play maps, in terms of things they use, in terms of, just like tacticals, attachments. There's already been a huge change. What the hell was that? In that aspect, like there's been many different things that have been used. Like I said, people are already using new attachments on guns. They're changing attachments on guns. They're realizing that some things aren't necessities like we thought they were. So in terms of that, that's cool. I don't think that is very game changing at all. I think it's just kind of cool that as a player, you have the possibility to change up the game in a certain way, and you can play to your own style, I guess, if you want to say. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that really helps, but we're talking about just like why is there a possibility that one team might not win everything? I would say it's probably because of specialists. They're really unpredictable, and it's like we go into a map, right? And I could have 30 kills, okay? Scump could have 30 kills, but Scump's 30 kills could have been in the hill. How many points is he getting towards his specialist with those 30 kills in the hill compared to mine? I don't know, but I bet you he's getting his specialist a lot more often than I am. And the crazy thing to say is, I don't even know how many points without overclock you get for getting kills in the hill. That is probably something I should know, probably something all of us players should know, but it's something that literally I don't know. So you can go into games and you could be playing, and you could be using your specialist perfectly. You could be in all the right positions, but it's like, are you getting your specialist as much as them? Are there players with the abilities getting the important kills they need to build up their specialist streaks? And that could be a huge factor in deciding a series. It's like, well, am I going to shit? I don't even know, dude. It's a lot harder for me to talk about this while I'm doing a live commentary. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the greatest at these. I'm not very good at playing and trying to like tell a story. I mean, I know I'm not telling a story. I'm just talking about a topic that I thought was very interesting, but it was a lot easier to think about all of this when I was in the shower and not playing. But like I said, I think we're a great team, and I think we still have the possibility to like be the best. And I think if anyone's doubting us, that we could reach the level that complexity, you know, whether it was with Claire, whether it was with me, if people are doubting whether we can achieve that success, I think it's a little crazy, because I think we all have the confidence going into a game that we're gonna absolutely obliterate the teams we're playing. And I think we know that like now, like the S&Ds are the biggest part, and as long as we 100% take the S&Ds seriously, we can probably come out victorious in a 3-0 fashion. And one of the biggest things I think is like with this team and the complexity team is how well we like mesh together. And one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about that I really just didn't think about because I was playing this damn pub, and as you can see, choked the 100 bomb, but I got 97. Is how well we mesh. Like I know I just said it, but with the Cole team, I'd say probably anyone you ask probably say that I think I did pretty well on complexity in Ghost when we were winning. We only lost what, one event, two events actually, and two events that I don't think we played well at all as a team, and we probably just didn't really want it at that time. But probably anyone you ask, you say we played pretty well as a team in the events we won. The events we lost, yeah, I don't think we did very well. I mean, I didn't do very well in the two events we lost, but probably everyone besides like he who cannot be named will probably say some good things about how we played. And I'd say like the main thing that I've done really, AW I sucked ass, okay? Fair enough. I either did really bad or I did pretty good. And there really wasn't no in between. And the pretty good wasn't very often. I could do good, but I was either doing good or like really bad or just losing gunfights because I don't know. I don't want to make excuses. I didn't do that great sometimes, but you know, I feel like there's some reasons, but it's just like people would think I'm crazy, but that's what Adam Sloss is for. Adam Sloss is there for me to talk about all the crazy shit. And you know what? We might say some crazy shit, but actually I truly believe some of the things I say. I wouldn't say it for no reason. But on let's go moving forward with this topic. I would say I said before, we mesh very well, and it comes down to practice. So there's teams, okay, out there, pro teams who have said that like you guys just go like way too hard in scrims, like you hear them calling out blah blah blah, and it's like we're going hard in scrims because you got to replicate that in the tournament. It's like on this map, if I were to fucking rush B stairs off the break without telling anyone on my team.
I don't know if you can hear me. Okay,
Thank you, man. Sorry, I'm doing a live commentary. I am really sorry, Supernova. But if we were to say off the break when we play this map, if I were to just rush B stairs in a real tournament match, my team would probably be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, yeah, what the fuck am I doing? I've never done that when we scrimmed. I've never done that in a real game. So if I didn't call it, it would just ruin our start. The game wouldn't flow properly. And I think that's one of the most impressive things about us is I think if you put, okay, so don't worry about any other teams that are formed right now. If you put four just the rawest players you could find, or the rawest players on other teams, you put them on a team, I don't think they would mesh well because there's a certain point that someone has to give it up. And these fucking shotgunners are pissing me off. I hate people who use shotguns. But there's a certain time where you can't all be the star. You know, you can't all be the star. There's the only times that you can be are situationally when the game allows you to. When you guys you're put in situations as a team where it's acceptable to go out and do certain things that, you know, you wouldn't normally do. But you can only do it based on situations. Otherwise, it fucks up the whole flow of the team. And that's where I think our team is really good at that, given we all have quote-unquote stars. Everyone knows their role, I feel, and like, put it this way, if we're all in a hill, right, we're chilling in a hill, I'll be the first to take initiative. Like, yo, just go push out. I got the hill. Why? Like, there's times where, yeah, that can be bad, but there's times that you gotta have some sort of consistency, okay? You gotta have some sort of consistency in terms of playing spawns, in terms of having hill. And there's times where, yeah, we'll go into a game and I'll have 2 minutes of hill time, and then we'll play another series. Stealth will have 2 minutes of hill time. Hell, there's times where fucking Matt will have 2 minutes of hill time, Ian. But then there's times where I'll have like 10 seconds. Stealth will have like 10 seconds, but it just all depends on what's happening situationally. And I think that's one of the best things about our team is there's no one way any certain player should play, but you can't play in a way that it would affect your team negatively. You know what I mean? Like if I were to just say, okay, fuck the hill, I'm just gonna start playing kills this whole map. I'm not gonna worry about the hill at all. I'm not gonna go near it. I'm not gonna go near spawns. I'm not doing any of that. It'll probably hurt us more than anything, just because that's not what I do. That's not how our team flows. It's not how we get into our groove. It'd be screwing it all up. I'd be doing something that someone else would be doing, and I think that's the biggest thing that makes us really good. And you know what? And I think it's one of the main reasons we have the potential to be that great team if we are already not there. So I know this commentary is dragging on, and at some point I probably am just blurring and going on about nonsense, but honestly it's really fucking hard for me to talk about a topic while I'm sitting here playing. And honestly, I probably should have done this video without doing a live commentary, but I feel like if I was just sitting there talking to the camera, you guys might be a little bored. But next time, you know, depending on what you guys say, give me feedback, tell me how bad this is, because honestly I think I'm doing a pretty shitty job at doing a live commentary talking about a topic that I actually had some really good points when I was thinking about it, and now it's just shit, and now I'm getting shotgun. But end of the day, the topic of discussion was, can Optic achieve Cole's greatness? And I truly believe that. I truly believe we have the perfect team balance. We have the smarts, we have the talent, we have, you know, just the composure, and we have the willingness to get better. We listen to each other. We're friends. We don't get pissed, and I think that's another big thing. You see a lot of teams, you know, they play games and they lose, and it's like Armageddon. Armageddon started all over. Fucking Bruce Willis is back, even though, was he in Armageddon? I don't know, but that's one of the biggest things that. And it's like I can't say I disagree. There's been dark times where I've been on teams where, you know, some people just don't get the point. They just don't know how to win. You tell them one thing and they take it deliberately, like, hey, what if I was like, yo, Parasite, you got to start playing spawns more. Okay, this is not an example of Parasite. I'm just using somebody's name. And then Parasite would literally only play spawns for the rest of the game. You know what I mean? It'd be like, yo, Doug, go hop B flag, and then next thing you know, we're playing Dom, and Doug's just hopping B flag every single life. Which Doug improved on that. I don't know if you guys ever saw that video. I'm sure you did, where I was a pretty big douchebag to Doug, but I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. It helped our team, and in the end, it won me a championship. It won us a championship. So, I get where teams are coming from when they freak out on each other, and I can never be the one that sits here and says, well, like, why are you doing that? That's stupid. Because then I'd just be like, I'd be a hypocrite, because I did the same thing when I was losing. I don't like losing, and I don't like when people don't understand when you're telling them simple ass things. It's like, no, you don't have to do that one thing. But if you think about doing that one thing every time to time, it can help us. You don't have to do that every life. You don't have to spawn up and play the spawn every life. Like, think about it. If I spawned up every life and said, okay, I'm playing spawns every life, I'm running to the back every life, I'm never playing to run to the hill, I'm never gonna flood the hill. That's not what I'm gonna do. It would hurt in the long run. It'd be negative. It'd be a negative thing. You think, why? Well, because you can't just do one thing. One thing never works. One thing will never, like, achieve you greatness. If you were to just sit there and play for kills the whole damn game, I guarantee whether you might not think it or not, there's times where Matt probably plays the spawns, and there's times where he does. There's times where Seth plays the spawn. There's times where Ian plays the spawn. Will they always do it? No, because we don't always have to do it. Will I always do it? No, because that's why we're a team. There's always someone there to do it, and I think that's the best way to be the best team in Call of Duty. I don't think there should be one role. There's kind of like a set role that like you do, but situationally, everybody has to be willing to do everything, and I think that is one of the best things about our team. That, I think if there's anything you could have ever doubted about our team when it was formed is, will they be able to do that? Will they be able to accept that, they all have to be able to do everything to achieve greatness, to be able to win games, tournaments, etc. And I think we can do that. I think we've shown it, and as long as we keep that up, that I don't think we can do bad. Like that's the biggest thing that I've always thought with our team is, like, if there's ever a time that we will do bad, it's because one of us is just playing, I'd say, for kills. Like, it doesn't happen a lot, but if the only way we can lose is if we forget that we're a team and we start playing for ourselves. But we don't really do that. We never really do that, and it shows. We play very well in Hardpoint, and I think that's the biggest game mode. And Uplink too. We're starting to get really well. Uplink and Hardpoint, they're our two best game modes. CTF, I'd say CTF and S&D. People are up in there like, suck at S&D, but we've really only lost one S&D, maybe two S&Ds in the past like 4 weeks. CTF, people say we're not good at CTF, but it's like, CTF is grindy. You got to really be on as a team. You got to be on rotations. You got to be talking about communicating who's alive, who's dead, and that's the biggest thing. This is a long ass video, actually been going on for 22 minutes. I'm probably going to cut it up. So sorry if I really didn't make sense a lot of the time, but I really just wanted to say that, like, if you have 4 great players on a team, they've all got to be willing to do dirty work at certain times, but you also need some sort of consistency as a team and know when to play situations correctly. And I think that is that is the key to our success and the key to bringing us to be the greatest team ever in Call of Duty. Thank you for watching this live commentary. I hope it wasn't too bad. I know there were times where I didn't fucking make sense, and I didn't even understand what I was saying, but if you liked it, leave a like. Tell me what to do next time. As always, Karma. I almost said your boy Optic Scumpy!